Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Generation X Retro Gaming Club time. And I realise I haven't even got my script up because we were chatting away, as we always do, and almost forget the professionalism that we like to espouse each week. Perhaps we add this in just because if we were too slick and professional, you'd be put off, you know.
I've sneaked into Clive's gaff because he's gone out to the Pac-Man world. He's not here, folks. Look,
Very
completely
clever.
empty.
Very good. You're in my house. Get out. Get out. Welcome, welcome.
Books.
I hope you're good. That's very clever. That's very clever. I like that. I hope you're good out there in YouTube land. Welcome, welcome to the best Generation X gaming show in the world. I hope you are all well as you join me, Clive, aka Lord Kensal, and of course
me, Adam, aka Rokk,
interloper and burglar in my house. Join us all. Welcome, Mr. Krampus, Mr. Widnall, Mr. Holtz, Mr. Stream Elements Bot. Welcome all.
Select audience today. Select audience.
Yeah, it's a very select audience. It's about quality. It's quality.
Absolutely, not quantity. Quality.
It just takes a sip of the fine nectar. There we are. Join us today. Join us one and all as we take a pipe and slippers look at all things gaming, old and new. If you're new to the Generation X Retro Gaming Show, so presumably if you're watching this later, because I know none of you are new, then welcome. We're aimed at the slightly more mature generation of the gaming community who've been playing games since Jet Set Willy and Pong, which is not a collection of words you always want to have in the same sentence. I was just thinking that.
No, you don't want to repeat them 10 times.
No, you don't want a pongy Jet Set Willy. But yes, effectively we're the old gits of gaming, if you wanted to be rude about it. There's no need for that, really. It's a bit rude, you know, but never mind. Anyhow, welcome. You're all welcome. Don't forget, hit the likes. We like that. Subscribe and all of that YouTube nonsense. As we get on, because we're coming up in today's show, we're going to have the news on this day in gaming history, the Generation X games, celebrity gamers, new little bit, very exciting, and of course chat with you guys as well. But ladies and gentlemen, before that, games that we've been playing. Put in the chat the games you've been playing. We can talk about. That's really cool. Don't forget, as I say, let us know what games you've been playing and all of that. But I will kick off. This week. This week I have been playing mostly. I shall be playing. I've been playing Shapes and Beats, Kona, and Strange Brigade. No great surprise there, really, because they're the pro games from Stadia. Shapes and Beats, I've waxed lyrical about this before. The whole design concept, the music, the way the music integrates with the graphics, the real old school gun and run type gameplay. Really clever. Love it. Hello, Kelly. How you doing? Really love Shapes and Beats. A bit of a techno music fan from back in the day, you know, big box, little box, big fish, little fish, all of that. So absolutely love the sort of techno tracks on Shapes and Beats. So that's really cool. Kona, much more leisurely game. I reported issues with the controls and the controller settings. Did make me feel motion sick, the way they whop about so much. But obviously going to need to check the settings on that, because I'm not the only one who kind of felt a bit wheezy with the way that the controls feel so kind of loose and free. But I quite like that investigative kind of gaming approach, and it's very different pace than something like Shapes and Beats. But my favorite at the moment My current fave game is Strange Brigade. Absolutely loving it. I love the characterization. I love the story. I love the mix, the perfect mix of arcade zombie killing and puzzle solving. You have that kind of joy of blasting zombies. There's even a bit of orcs must die aspect to it, where you think, oh my God, how am I going to kill that whole gang of zombies coming up? Oh, there's some explosive barrels over there, or the big chopping fans, the razor fans that spin around if you fire and hit the right, a little light on top, and you can take out 7, and it has that arcadey splash on the screen that says, 8 kill, 9 kill kind of, thing. You get these little arcadey reward sort of things for it. And I love all of that. And then on the other side, you've got these sort of puzzle solving elements that make you feel big brain. Oh God, big brain. Really satisfying when you manage to work it out. Oi, nicking my backdrop. But yeah, so really loving Strange Brigade. I streamed it on Saturday night, and I think it was a great game to stream. People loved the story aspect of it and all of that, so that was really cool. And yeah, so highly recommended Strange Brigade. I even streamed it on Twitch last night, just to be different as well. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. They are the games that I've been playing. Adam, over to you. What games have you been playing?
Well, very similar to you, Clive, to be honest, mate. I did a bit of the old Strange Brigade. Oh, that's agile for you. Very good. Thoroughly enjoyed that game. I played about, I think I'm on chapter 4, so still got a bit of a way to go, but yeah, great fun. Bit of Kona. Yeah, you have to adjust the camera settings on it. I did that straight off, and then it was fine. I tried Shapes and Beats. I need to get back on that. I couldn't quite work out how to play that. So yeah, it was not sure. But I know what you were saying about you kind of felt a bit sad when your little character died at the end.
Yeah.
And then it came back again and you felt all good. I thought, I want that emotion. So I've got to keep trying to play that. Bit of Ghost of Tsushima, still doing that one.
It's uplifting when that music comes back in.
No, I'm going to get back to it, mate. But you are younger than me, don't forget. So, it does take me a little bit longer to get into that kind of pop scene that the young ones are playing these days on their jukeboxes. But yeah, having great fun with all of the new stuff. All the pro games are amazing this month. So
yeah, absolutely. And chat, what have you been playing? Holtz. Holt says you can play Doom Eternal. It is in the Stadia sale. Yeah, highly recommended. It's full on. It's a great demo of the power of Stadia. Just in terms of, you feel like you're on ice. It's so fast and furious. I found it quite difficult at first, but then you get into the spirit of it. I think if you come off the back of playing, I don't know, Destiny or something, where you've got a bit of time to idle about and shoot aliens and hide behind a rock and stuff, with Doom Eternal, it's like you've got to get back into that old school way of first-person shooting, which is with zombies coming in a kind of Serious Sam type way, which is, I think the developers of Serious Sam describe it as a dance. A kind of a lethal dance. You've got to keep moving and shooting, moving and shooting, moving and shooting. That's the constant thing. And once you get back into that, you get into that rhythm on Doom Eternal, it gets, I wouldn't say easy, but it gets more manageable. You just, I mean, it does say, don't stand still. You literally have to keep moving on that, keep moving. That's the main thing. Kelly says, Strange Brigade. I tried that Shapes and Beats. Couldn't get into it. Not my sort of game. Yeah, that's fair enough. It's pretty full on and in your face. And just, it's like dizzying how fast it is.
I just remembered I did play one big game.
Oh, yeah.
Over the whole of last weekend. And that was the Amazon Games New World.
Oh yes, of course. Well,
Yes,
why don't you tell us a bit about New World? Because yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's coming out. I think it's the 24th of August. So that, of course, they brought their first game out and then taken it back in to give it a wash and brush up. But yeah, I was impressed with it. It's kind of Elder Scrolls Online meets Destiny. Wander around, solve little bits and pieces, kill a few things on your way. You know, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it could be good. Could be worth picking up for 30 quid, I reckon.
Yeah. Okay. So when was that actually released? Did we actually fall in sort of
24th of August, I think. So this was a load balance test over the weekend. Select few asked if they could attend. The only thing I would say is that there was, it's the same with Elder Scrolls. There's so many other people around. You constantly, you know, the noise and somebody playing the idiot, running around, all that sort of thing. So that was the only part of it, because you kind of, I like this, you know, I'm doing my little campaign and everything, and it's quite nice doing that stuff without being surrounded by Egypts. But it was, yeah, one to definitely look up for.
It's good to do stuff without being surrounded by idiots. Yeah.
Yeah. That, which is, you know, general, my motto for life, really.
Yeah. Just tidying up the camera frames there.
Stranger
took the background out. Sorry, you know, it's technical here behind the scenes. I took the background out of the OBI Ninja, and of course it shows.
Oh no!
I took that coding out, and yeah, you're right. It made it invisible, but you'll see on the stream now. I've got rid of it. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted. I was doing on the fly.
No, just agreeing. I was just agreeing with Dave there that Strange Brigade. It's an absolutely excellent game, and I'm just amazed because it was on the PlayStation and it completely passed me by.
That's what gets me. It's like, why does this game? I don't remember it. I mean, was it on Xbox as well?
I don't know.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that far back. Yeah, I mean, I love the whole Sniper Elite stuff and the zombies. I'm just baffled why completely flew under my radar.
I think, you know, it was a marketing issue or something like that. Didn't have the marketing money behind it or something weird like that.
No, Daz and Lee played it. They were very much aware of it. Yeah, quite odd. Yeah. Very good. Excellent game.
It's part of me that I know I'm going to be a bit sad if I complete it. It's a bit like, I feel like a bit with the Tomb Raiders. I always feel like, I want to do a bit more.
Well, you do.
I know there's some DLC.
Yeah. And characters, extra characters Ray bought.
Okay. Well, it'll be interesting. Okay, so shall we crack on with the news, ladies and gentlemen? Why not? Why not? Okay, so here we are. My first bit of news is this interesting thing in relation to VR. So the issue with VR, and, you know, God, imagine having a first-person shooter in VR or that kind of player one thing where you can run around and shoot. But the issue with VR is that you effectively have to stand still. I mean, you can turn to the left, you can turn to the right, you look around, but you can't actually sort of run and interact in the game. So this has been always an issue with VR. And there've been sort of attempts at solutions which haven't been very elegant. In fact, I'm going to show, I don't have got it here. Anyway, but there's some new tech here, which I will share. Let's make that bigger. There we go. So basically, it's this robotic, these are little robot pads that move about in relation to where you are in your VR headset. Obviously, this is slowed down, but you can imagine this technology speeding up and being adapted. So you could actually run around in the world, and you can imagine the robots be programmed to reflect the different terrain that you're on and stuff like that. So you could get a scenario, I mean, this is very early basic technology, but you could get a scenario in which, I'll take that sound down there, where you could actually feel like you were running around and the ground underneath you in reality is doing all the moving, but you think you're doing all the moving. So it's just very interesting. There used to be a much more inelegant solution where you used to sort of strap onto a sort of circular conveyor belt that could go in different directions, but you had to be strapped in so you didn't fall over and stuff like that. And it was, you know, very, very kind of cumbersome. But this kind of intelligent robotic version of moving steps, moving platforms that can go up and down as well. If you imagine if they were slightly smaller and there were lots of them and they were all in unison, you could see a scenario where you're running around in, I don't know, Call of Duty in VR, and you feel like you are running across a car park or down the road or up a hill or something, but you're actually not going anywhere. The ground is moving under you, but giving you all the feelings and sense that you are actually running. So I just thought it was just a really cool concept. I don't think it's there now. As I say, this is very, very basic, but
100 grand a robot.
Yeah, probably crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I just thought that was kind of very interesting concept, whether ever it comes out of it. It's by Japanese researchers, say created a way to infinitely move in VR using robotic tiles.
Love it.
But that just concept of robotic tiles to create a ground beneath you, I just think it's a really cool concept. So there you go.
It doesn't show him walking off to the left or the right, mind you. I think he might have fallen off.
Yeah, yeah. But you can imagine how, you know, those old sort of face print things you used to get, which are made of lots of little kind of needles.
Yeah.
And then you put your face into it, and then it creates a 3D representation.
Yeah.
Imagine having loads of those robotically controlled.
All pushing up to keep you supported.
All pushing up to keep you and reflecting the texture of the ground, so that the computer game fed information to them to say you're on this ground level, this texture of the ground, and all that. I could see in the future.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree.
Holt says I've got a treadmill under my desk, so I'm ready for Death Stranding VR. Guess I just need a weighty bag.
Treadmill under your desk. Love that idea.
There used to be a sort of 90s thing in American offices, like they'd have when you had their headset, their phone headsets going, get me Bob in accounts, send him upstairs right now. And the guy's working out, you know, with his hand that grips as well. And some kind of American movie, you know. Yeah.
Poor old Bob in accounts.
Yeah, poor old Bob. You're fired, Bob. Sell. Get me Marie and Secretary Marie. Take a letter. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, other big news. Xbox, we know, XCloud, I should say, is officially launching. We knew it was officially launching, but they've kind of made a big statement all about it now. Officially launching XCloud, Xbox Games Pass Ultimate. They're not really calling it XCloud now, effectively, because it's just part of Xbox Games Pass Ultimate. So I think they might be sort of dropping that idea of XCloud. And it's just, actually, I've never noticed that before. I'm doing this on the fly. I've just noticed that little subtlety. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. I think the idea of Project XCloud is gone. It's just part
completely. Yeah,
it's just part of Games Pass Ultimate is what it is. Anyway, September the 15th, giving the opportunity to play the games you want with the people you want, anywhere you want. Since launching the public preview, of course, I did a quite a big video on this when it first sort of launched as a project, as an alpha beta test. I did a review of it on YouTube on my main channel. It's in North America, Europe, and South Korea. Anyway, they're launching it in how many countries? 22 markets. Which, just to put that in context, Stadia is in, and you would have heard me even say this loads of times, 14 countries.
Today, not for much longer.
Yeah, no, yeah, exactly. But what I'm saying is, it just putting into context that people, you know, Xbox already has an established market in many, many, many more countries, and they're limiting it to 22 markets at the moment. Things like Korea and Japan and stuff like that, where they know the infrastructure's there and things like that. But yeah, all in all, very exciting. In fact, off the back of their advert, I did fire up my XCloud on my phone and my Mogger XP controller here, just to see, because, and actually recently I've been unable to log into it, but today it was fine. And I played a little bit of Destiny. Bear in mind, I was listening to some music on Spotify. My work computer was on, and it was, you know, something like Destiny was playable, but obviously I did notice it, as I did originally. It felt just a bit out. But actually, when I played Stadia on here under the exact same conditions, using the controller wired in exactly, it was just, yeah, it was better. But again, it's just slightly off from what I expect when I'm wired in. You know, I'm at the far end of the house from my Wi-Fi and stuff like that, so it's not really surprised. But noticeably, there's a tiny difference with Stadia than when I'm playing on XCloud on this. But yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. But it's playable if you're just not.
I had an email and it said that we're going to be stepping down the XCloud beta on the 11th, and then it's going to be born again in Game Pass Ultimate on the 15th.
That's right.
4 days it'll be non-persona grata.
Yeah, as they rev it up. But a good little advert they had for it, which just really kind of summed up about playing on the go and stuff like that, which is what it's all about. And 100 games. And so I was going to do a little, you know, there's a lot of people saying, oh, why don't Stadia do adverts like this? So what I was going to do was going to download their advert and then edit in Stadia and then link in Stadia and go, there, I've done your job for you. But then I looked to get the Stadia advert, and I found one from June, and it's almost identical.
Yeah.
But we're so, and I put this on Twitter, the Stadia people are so, well, not just Stadia, everybody, that hippie trippy video that they did way back in November, Stadia, it's, you know, it's in the cloud, you know, and all that, and the stupid flying dog and all that kind of stuff is so ingrained in our brains.
Yeah.
People say, oh, what was that advert all about? You know, why don't Stadia do adverts like this Xbox thing? They do. Just that we forgot, you know, they do things with simple messaging. It's almost identical if you watch it. I did share it on Twitter, but if you watch the Google version, it's the same. It's all about playing when you're out and about, good selection of games, play it on any screen. Nice, simple messaging. But as I say, they've been tarnished by that stupid hippie trippy ad they did way back in December.
Yeah.
Annoyingly.
Makes no sense still to this day.
No, it doesn't. I was thinking, the more I think about it in regard to this, it was like, yeah, they got the messaging completely wrong.
Bizarre one.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Anyway, but exciting, I think, for cloud. I think it's exciting for cloud gaming because it's almost as though Stadia never happened, and it's sort of a lot of general gaming people's minds, and they'll go, and people's response to Xbox doing this generally, I'm not talking about Stadia fans and things like that, but like, wow, you could play on the go. I could play Xbox games on my phone. That's an amazing concept. Why didn't anybody else think of that? I always get that kind of impression, and you're sort of going, hello, Stadia been doing it? What? You know what I mean? They've almost ignored when a legitimate gaming company does it. Yeah. It's like suddenly it's totally legit, Like, nothing wrong with that. Of course, cloud gaming. Of course, makes perfect sense. What a brilliant idea! Like, for fuck's sake. Anyway, it's not a Stadia show, but you get my point. Get my point? It's just people's reaction to this, which, but on the flip side, that means it's good because it will make the concept of cloud gaming
Exactly.
acceptable.
Yeah, which is what I was saying the other week about the
Yeah.
fact that Elon Musk gave away all their patents
Hmm.
because he needed to create a market for electric cars in order for Tesla to succeed.
Hmm.
Because everyone was ignoring electric cars,
Yeah.
Well, it's the thing that nobody wants an electric car. Gave away all the patents for the company. Everybody's into making electric cars. It creates a market, and guess who's dominant and who's leading the pack?
I didn't know that. Is that so? Was that?
Yeah, gave it away. Gave every single piece of IP away. It's all open source. He even helped to send his guys out. Even offered to send his guys out to Mercedes and BMW or Nissan, whoever, to help them develop and design their own electric cars. It's a real genius piece of marketing.
Well, actually, when you think about it, though, that's exactly what Google did with Android.
Yes.
Effectively,
Yes.
they said, "Okay, we've created this operating system for mobile phones instead of because obviously Apple have invented their own and it's for Apple phones only, but for all you other manufacturers, have this."
Yeah.
And you think, wow, that's very generous of them.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But no,
it's embedded, gathering data all day long, aren't
exactly.
they?
And then just like Microsoft, back in the 80s, whatever, it becomes the dominant operating platform on all non, Mac, instead of Mac computers, all non, on all PCs,
OEM
Windows.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Embedded.
Yeah.
It's exactly what we did. Yeah.
There we go. Right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Okay. Oh yeah, free weekend. I put down here. So there's a free to play. Didn't free to play for Borderlands 3 happen a couple of weeks ago?
No, not
for
as far as
Stadia
is concerned. This is the first free to play weekend that Stadia. Gem.
I was thinking, wasn't there a free to play Borderlands
on other platforms?
Yeah,
possibly. I don't know.
A few weeks ago.
Yeah, I don't know, mate. This is the first one for Stadia.
Yeah, it's the first one for Stadia. That's quite exciting.
Yeah. So unlike other platforms, you won't need to download the game, find all the space and delete it afterwards.
No.
You just click play for a weekend. Hopefully hope you buy it. And if you don't, you've had a couple of days of free play.
Yeah, I like Borderlands 2. I think it was on Xbox Games.
2 was excellent. Yeah, it was much better.
And I was looking forward to playing Borderlands 3, but I didn't feel like I wanted to spend $40 for it, 40 quid for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm tight-fisted bastard. So, so I'm looking forward to having a little delve in. It feels like a little mini pro game, albeit for 2 days. So that's quite good. I noticed you posted here a Paper Mario. Yes. Is that because
I didn't know if this was just I came across this and it said this is just come out and
yes.
And I thought, Clive's always on about Paper Mario.
I think I showed the trailer to this, or I certainly looked it up before.
Origami King.
We've certainly talked about Paper Mario before. I think it was Behind the Door or something. Paper Mario Behind the Door.
Yeah,
such an imaginative way. The sort of cut out paper characters, whatever. But this takes it to a different level. They're origami characters. They're folded characters. Everything's in a sort of origami folded world. He's still flat, like he's cut out, like a Paper Mario. Yeah. And then it has a turn-based fighting system as well, which I was the first. I think it was my first proper experience of a turn-based fighting system, where you select which character you want to sort of take the hit.
Oh, okay.
Restore
like Baldur's Gate
character and
like
the SteamWorld Hand of Gilgamesh or whatever it's called. But yeah, I love Paper Mario. It's such a cool game.
It's available on is it Xbox? I can't read it.
It'll be Switch, won't it? Because it's Nintendo. So.
Oh, Switch. Okay.
Yeah, because it's Nintendo only. So
yeah. I know. I looked at. I want to play that, but I can't. It's on Switch.
Yeah. It's
so good.
They're fun games, really clever, and they've got the Mario sort of humor and all the Mario characters that you kind of know. Shy Guy, the Shy Guys are in there. I've got the other. My head's gone empty now. But what was it? I just remember Shy Guy. Wasn't that a song by
an artist?
Kajagoogoo?
No, that was Too Shy.
Yeah.
Hush, hush, hide away.
Too shy.
Hush,
What was that?
hide away.
You got it.
Oh yes, mate. We've never lost it.
Kajagoogoo.
Yeah.
You know, the lead singer of Kajagoogoo left.
Lamar.
One single after that.
Lamar, I think he was called. I think his real name was Mark Hamill.
Yes, Lamar, that's it.
Yeah.
And he left, and then they had one single after that. And do you know what? Can you remember what that single was?
Well, they did, of course. They did the song "Never Ending Story"?
Oh, that was Lamar in it. Yeah. They did Life in the Big Apple.
Oh yes, Life in the Big Apple.
But I think that was without Lamar.
The main man.
Yeah,
he went off and did a bit of a solo thing, did he?
And then they never did anything after that.
No, he works in a chip shop now.
Yeah, I'm sure they do that. They do the ATOS retro tour like 2 years ago. There was a whole wet, and
that's it. Wherever you go, there's a bit of Blondie, a bit of madness,
bit of everybody on a tour.
Vessel before we did that game last week.
Right. Okay, there we go. That's enough of Kajagoogoo, everybody. Look it up if you're too young to remember. He had little rat's tail haircut, didn't he? At the back,
Who did? Lamar?
Little plait, yeah. It's all the rage, early 80s.
Oh.
My dad said, if you ever become a little rat tail like that, I'll chop it right off.
Yeah, well, there was some good stuff in the 80s.
Oh man, yeah.
Those was the days.
Yeah. Anyway, now we move smoothly on to I should get a graphic for this. I should do some research and make a graphic for this. On this day in gaming history. So it's quiz time, chat. Ladies and gentlemen, it's quiz time. Let me know here. No, it's not quiz time yet. I'm going to tell you what. Yes, it's a sort of mini quiz time.
Yeah.
This day in gaming history, the game I'm talking about is called World Soccer Winning 11-8. That famous game. World Soccer Winning 11-8. Anybody know what that is? What's that, Clive? Never heard of it.
No.
World Soccer Winning 11-8. Never heard of it. It's on PlayStation. What are you talking about? That's because that was its name in Japan. It is better known in this country, of course, as Pro Evolution Soccer. Hey, look at him with the cat.
He just popped in. He heard you talking about him. He said, thanks, Clive.
Yeah. Right, we'll get rid of that rubbish we're doing. Right. Pro Evolution Soccer on this very day.
Oh, Pro Evo.
August the 5th, 2004. I think I played this version. I think this was my first introduction to Pro Evo. I'm trying to think of the dates. I think this was it. So Pro Evolution Soccer 4, known as World Soccer Winning 8 in Japan and World Soccer Winning 8 International in North America. But in the Europe and everywhere else, we knew it as Pro Evo, Pro Evolution Soccer. And the general considered view was that this is, at the time of FIFA and all that this was the better game. This was the gamers' soccer game, or if you want to call it the gamers' football game. The control and skill was much better, whereas I think the purists felt that FIFA at the time was it sort of did it for you, did all the work for you. Pro Evo was the game you had to kind of learn the skill and get better at it. But I think that argument, I'm not that familiar now with FIFA anymore, but I think that argument is less than the FIFA changed their engine many years ago, and it's meant to be better. But there used to be this competition between the engines, the football engines, in terms of who could deliver the better football game. But yeah, this comes from a long history, as I say, of World Soccer Winning 8. So the very fact it's called World Soccer Winning 8 meant that they were already up to World Winning Soccer 4 before they even launched it as Pro Evo in the rest of the world. Interesting enough. And on this one, the cover featured Thierry Henry, AS Roma forward of Francesco Totti, and of course the world-renowned, it was definitely this version I had, Pierluigi Collina, who was the bold ref, famous from the...
yes.
It was one of the most famous world refs of, in the world at the time. But yeah, and they used to ship loads, especially in Europe. Total of more than 200 club and national teams. But yeah, this was released, this version, August the 5th, 2004. 16 years ago today. Wow. Pro Evolution 4 was released. I've talked about the problem with the licensing before, didn't I? And Mersey Red and Mersey Blue, because
I don't remember that
particular things like that. But yeah, there we go. This day in gaming history, ladies and gentlemen. There we are. Pro Evo Soccer 4 was released. Wow. Anyway. A bit. We're going back into history even further here. The Darling brothers. I think I met the Darling brothers, darling, sweetie.
Did you?
Yeah, I think I have met the Darling brothers.
Were they as obnoxious as they look?
Yes.
Thought they might be.
Shall I play this? Oh, it's Codemasters. Okay, no,
yeah.
not the Oliver twins. Have you ever heard the Oliver twins? They're also famous game developers.
His boss is out of bed in the morning, but for Jim Darling,
who are these then? These aren't the Darling brothers.
That's because his bosses are his sons, and what's more,
Codemasters boys.
8-year-old brother.
Computer kids.
No, they are. But the Oliver twins were similar kids.
A farmhouse in rural Warwickshire may seem an unlikely setting for Britain's second most successful computer games company.
I've been here.
But it's here that some of the best-selling games take shape.
Well, I don't know if it's the same farmhouse, but I used to go and visit Codemasters, part of my job,
the Darling brothers,
and they were in some
and 22-year-old David, the managing director.
Country lane off near Warwickshire, so I'm assuming it's the same thing.
Magazine started the ball rolling. Soon they were making thousands.
20.
We sort of drifted into it. We'd written some games, and our friend had written some games.
Could be an episode of Green.
Some games.
A lot of our friends liked the game, so we decided.
And they quite liked them. So we decided to make some more games.
We started working as freelance programmers for other companies.
Now, Codemasters has an international market with an annual turnover of £2 million. More than 80 games have been
It's like Dr. Evil when he gets unfrozen, isn't it? And he goes, "I want a ransom." He's threatening to blow up the world. "I want the ransom of £1 million." And they're going, 10 million pounds, 2 million. To think where Codemasters is now, it's extraordinary, isn't it? And this is all from, bedroom coding and all of that kind of stuff back in the day.
So interestingly enough, they're no longer involved with the company.
No.
They sold out in 2007.
Wow.
To venture capital outfit, Balderton Capital, who'd amassed a 70% share over the previous 2 years. Wow. Oh, yes. But, when you see what they turn out these days,
Well, the Codemaster games, we talked about it before. We used to use them or talk to them for the racing game side of things.
For the Legos IP.
Yeah. We used to talk about racing games and stuff like that. And this is very typical of a lot. So the vibrant and creative gaming industry that we have in this country stems from those bedroom boy programmers from the 80s who had ZX81s and ZX Spectrums and released a few games and made a little bit of money. And the fact that their legacy, you know, as I say, not just these guys, the Oliver twins are famous guys who were equally nerdy teens back in the 80s. And there's loads of them like that who've gone on to create, you know, a massive industry legacy in this country. You know, up in Dundee, it's almost like sort of Scottish Silicon Valley. It's where the Rockstar guys are. But around them, they have lots of other developers. You've got these guys in Warwick, then also in Warwickshire at Leamington Spa. There's that developer that's making a games for Stadia, but they were a spin-off of another developer that was based in Leamington Spa. So yeah, there's been one of the reasons, as I said, that there's a strong, healthy gaming creative industry in this country. All started from boys and brothers like this, programming ZX Spectrums and VIC-20s and ZX81s in their bedroom, sending off a couple of programs to Your Computer magazine. And, you know, didn't you used to design for stuff like this?
Yeah, I used to do graphics for Commodore 64 and Amiga games. I used to do cassette inlays, as was the case then. Yeah, back in the day. I was just reading that it says here they sold for an estimated 80 million. Which,
I mean, you know, relative to the way that's
compared to nowadays. And that was I because of course their dad was probably an equal partner. So it would have almost certainly been split three ways. You know, I mean, no one's going to sniff at what 23 million or whatever that 23.5 million. But yeah, I mean, if they'd have hung out and managed to get the investment to turn it into what it is today, they'd be selling out for a considerably higher sum than that.
So here the other ones you're talking about, the Darling brothers. These are the Oliver twins.
The Darling Olivers.
Yeah. They work with publishers, Codemasters.
Okay.
Andrew Nicholas Oliver and Philip Edward Oliver, known as the Oliver twins, are video game designers. They began to develop computer games while they were at school, contributing the first type-in game to a magazine in 1983. That's exactly what I said. Sending in your type-in game into Your Computer magazine, which is what I used to get.
Yeah.
Anyway, they set up a company called Blitz Game Studios, which was in Leamington Spa, like I said. Mm-hmm. And then they founded, in 2013, they founded Radiant Worlds. They won first prize in a national TV competition, the Saturday Show, to design a computer game. Their first very successful game, Super Robin Hood, for the Amstrad CPC, was published by Codemasters.
It was a fairly limited market, though. I mean, they weren't.
Yeah, back then.
Huge, the Amstrad.
Yeah,
it was a cruddy little word processor.
They ported some games to the Sega platforms, including Theme Park, which is quite a popular game, and The Rebellion. That's who I was thinking. The company that developed games for Stadia, Rebellion.
What, are they the same people?
So no, they in 2018, Rebellion, a UK games developer and publisher, purchased the company. And one of the companies that they'd set up, and they renamed it to Rebellion Warwick.
Right.
Twins remained with Rebellion until 2019.
Wow.
At which point they left to form a game consultancy business.
Wow. So Strange Brigade would have had their involvement.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh no, that's really put me off the game now.
Were they as obnoxious as the others? It's twins, mate. Yeah. I don't know what it is. Twin nerds. Worst flavor.
Bit of a dispute.
Did you? Oh dear.
Yeah.
What is it about Warwickshire then? What's the why? Why is it like the Silicon Valley of gaming in the UK?
Well, I know it's in Warwickshire, but there's lots of places. But what happens is, like in any industry, you get people who leave companies and then they start their own company nearby, and you sort of spread. And I think, they created games, went to Codemasters. So they were like lived locally, went to Codemasters, got the game published, then set up their own development place in Warwickshire. So it's just sort of coincidence rather than anything else, I think. But the fact that they had someone, close by.
That is funny.
They've done stuff for Smilegate, who do that new, what's it called? Fire thing I reviewed briefly on Xbox. It's coming out with the storyline. What was that game I reviewed on Xbox recently?
Oh, what, with the Battle Royale thing?
Yeah. Well, no, not the Battle Royale, but like a
Fall something. Is it called?
Fire something. My brain's gone dead. But anyway, they're really well respected in the games industry, and represented the trade body and stuff like that. And but yeah, it's just interesting that you had they're like the Darling Brothers. They all, and then the guys behind Rare as well. Rare, I think, was Leamington.
Was it? What about Molyneux? Was he down that way?
Oh, Peter. No, I think he's more Surrey way. Ubisoft Leamington, formerly Freestyle Games. Yeah, so this is an example where you've got your Codemasters, you've got your Blitz Games and stuff, and they hemorrhage people, and then they set up their own companies, use their connections, set up their own companies, and so you get your proper cottage industry going on. So yeah, but I'm sure Rare comes. Yeah, they do, because because what I like about Rare when they do their interviews is they've got some very distinct Midland accents.
Oh, really?
Black country accents like that, but just a little hint of Birmingham there, I'm meant to have that accent, actually, but I can't hear it. But
are you from that neck of the woods?
Yeah. Grew up that way. There we go. Who knew? Who knew? Right. That's enough of that. This week I get to press the button. It's now time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Generation X game, ladies and gentlemen. Generation X. Oh, did we do well? Let's hit the titles.
Clive looks all evil and up for it.
Right, ladies and gentlemen. This week in the Generation X game, my game, I'm going first, by the way. My game, it's the way the script's written.
It's
my game
every week. Don't give you no favors, pal.
Yeah, I've seen what you put, you bloody cheat.
It's not cheating.
And then you thought, right.
I always wait till Clive does his.
We'll see. I'm going for it. I'm still going for it, ladies and gentlemen. This week, my game was developed by Hitmaker and published by Sega. The first version of this game, of course, appeared in the arcades in 1999 and was very successful on Sega, prompting them to port the arcade version to their Dreamcast console. So this was a Dreamcast game in 2000. It was the third best-selling Dreamcast game in the United States, selling over 1 million copies. The game was later ported to PlayStation 2, Nintendo GameCube, and PC, with lots of sequels also appearing on the Xbox 360, still available on the Xbox 360, if you've got one, Game Boy Advance, and the PlayStation portable systems. So a game developed by Hitmaker and sold loads on the Dreamcast. Does anybody know what it might be? I will play the video and reveal what game it is. Let's make sure we get rid of it and we go straight into the
mild violence.
Sega.
Guess who's back?
Let's just start that there. We're going to get copyright strike for this, but never mind.
Sega.
Not the same without the music. This, ladies and gentlemen, Crazy Taxi.
Woohoo! Axel.
There was a very similar Simpsons game version of this as well, I think later, where I think you went round as Homer Simpson in a sort of taxi. But the idea is you basically pick up passengers and you take them from A to B and try to do crazy stunts along the way. That's the thing. And then you rack up the points and stuff as you go, and you sort of create total mayhem and destruction. So that basically, ladies and gentlemen, is my game of choice. We'll just read here. So Crazy Taxi is a series of score attack racing video games that was developed by Hitmaker and published by Sega. First appeared in the arcades in '99. I've said all of that. Each game has the player assume the role of a taxi driver who must accumulate money by delivering passengers to their destinations in the fastest time possible, earning ticks by performing crazy stunts before the time runs out. There we are. It did lead to a lawsuit over a similar gameplay in Simpsons Road Rage. I told you there was a Simpsons version. Settled out of court. There was a movie as well, I seem to remember, based on it. I think it was a French movie that went sort of international.
You looking at me?
But there we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's my choices. It is Crazy Taxi by Sega.
I don't recall Crazy Taxi, but then
I
was not into the old Japanese consoles, as you know.
There was a movie, yeah, with Queen Latifah. Yeah, and Jimmy Fallon.
What, called Crazy Taxi?
Yeah, loosely based on the concept. I'm sure it was loosely based on the concept. It involves some guy driving around it's a comedy guy driving around a taxi being absolutely crazy. So
it's kind of in the name.
Dave, see, we can always rely on Dave. He spent his childhood in the arcade.
He couldn't get past the second mission, though. Must
have
been quid.
Nah.
Holtz
loved Crazy Taxi on the Dreamcast. All right. Okay, Adam, do you want to before I introduce yours to the screen? Do you do the? Do you want to say what it is, or just do the introduction like I did without mentioning?
I fancy doing this introduction because the key thing is that, and I didn't know this till I started researching it, because it connects with everybody knows I prattle on about this game. So in 1991. A Scottish developer called David Jones developed a very successful game called Lemmings. Right. Now, it's not my game, but I was like, hello, what a coincidence, what a coinky-dink, under the company name of DMA Design. Do you guys know where we're going? A few years later, with fellow Scot Mike Daly, he worked on a living city concept, which was published in 1997. Anybody know what it was? In the chat, any thoughts where we're going? Clues are
Dundee Company.
Dundee, based in Dundee.
That's what I was saying earlier about Dundee, little Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. A concept around a living city. not a million miles away from where Clive was just now, actually. Yes, nobody has said it yet, but GTA, Grand Theft Auto. There you go. So I didn't realize there was the Lemmings connection. That blew me away when I read that. So that came out in 1997, Grand Theft Auto. BMG Interactive, then the publisher, sold to Rockstar Games in 98, and it became Rockstar North. There have been 11 major games in the GTA series, 4 expansion packs, mobile online variants. I mean, it's absolute powerhouse. To date, they reckon that it has netted somewhere in the region north of $9 billion in gross revenue, which is a phenomenal amount, dosh. There's actually, Clive, the final video link, the bottom of the third one at the bottom, evolution of the game. It's quite funny. It's a guy jumping off the highest building in each of the 6 games, and it includes right at the end some footage from GTA 6 beta. I've put 4, but it's allegedly, yeah.
Or do we? Oh, we know it is. I don't know.
Yeah, no, apparently it is. Yeah, so hugely successful series. I mean, it's in the Guinness Book of Records as the most controversial game series in history. Over 4,000 articles accusing it of glamorizing crime.
So this is all top down at the moment.
Top down, yeah. So it was all.
This is where it went revolutionary.
Yeah,
this changed the concept of. I think it drove PlayStation and stuff like that, didn't it? In terms of sales.
Yeah. Yes.
When Grand Theft Auto 3 was the bit where it went
boom,
massive.
Yeah. So
it was that sandbox thing. You could just run around.
Yeah.
And just do random stuff.
Just phenomenal. And everywhere and anywhere that you looked, you could go and visit, climb up, whatever.
In a world where you're previously in video games where you tend to be effectively on rails, you were limited where you could go. This concept of, I'm sure it wasn't the first, but it was just one of the sort of most successful early on of the early sandbox games, I imagine, that you could just go around, and there was a storylines and missions, but you could just go around exploring.
Yeah, I think the first one, there were 2 cities, and then subsequent to that, they were all set in one. Obviously, they weren't called Los Angeles or Las Vegas or LA, Hollywood, but they were clearly modeled on those places.
Yeah.
I remember going to LA a couple of years ago and driving around, and it was absolutely identical to GTA 4.
Yeah.
GTA 5, rather. And everywhere you went down there. So we're at 5 now, I think.
Yeah.
So I think there's one between this and 6 where, is it the beta he jumps off? No, that's right. It's online now. This is quite funny. So this is the online version of GTA 5. Off he toddles on his bike. How the hell the physics work on this? Here he goes.
Yeah, you get some crazy. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there.
It's like, no, that doesn't happen. And then watch what happens at the end. This is so funny. He gets up and walks off. So here's the beta for 6, which is set in San Francisco. I have read. And he's obviously jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge here. So there you go. First play reveal, probably breaking all NDAs.
Yeah, I wonder how realistic that is.
GTA 6.
Yeah.
Very early play.
Yeah, because they said it's like they don't have to. They can just build on the GTA Online stuff. They've said it. That's what they do. And so they don't expect to see a GTA 6 until 22, 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They take their time. They make a load of money. But as we know, Take-Two recently said that, when they got involved, they were literally out of pocket between the releases of the GTAs. They made so much money, but they just couldn't match it in between releases.
Couldn't manage the cash flow, could they?
No. So there you go. There's mine. It's the entire Grand Theft Auto franchise.
Holtz talks about GTA London. That was the getaway.
Yeah.
And they collected mapped out London in great detail.
Yeah, there's been, I say, there's been 11. I mean, obviously there's 1 to 6, but they had all these little breakouts in between different variants. It's been absolutely massive. 1997. So, you know, it's a considerable time that's been kicking around. 22 years, 22, 23 years now.
Dave Handley says, my friend and I played a 4-minute demo of this on PC in the early hours of the morning. Same 4 minutes over and over until I bought on PS1. So much fun and amazing what this series has turned into. All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, it's time to vote. I didn't know he was going to pull this out. I mean, you're playing your big joker there. But ladies and gentlemen, the choices are Taxi Driver, C for Taxi Driver, R for Grand Theft Auto. Make the votes. Vote away there. Let us know what you think. Actually, that was interesting that it did feel quite revolutionary, as I said, that when it went from the top down.
Yes, it was a sudden. It was just a sudden spurt.
2, I think it is, or whatever.
Yeah. No, I only played it from 4, I think, on the PS3.
I think from 3, I think I played it.
Yeah. So it kind of passed me by before then. But I thought it was quite funny that David Jones admitted recently that most of the controversy was invented by their publicist.
Yeah.
Never fails, does it?
Yeah.
The Sex Pistols did the same thing, and if you wanted to become famous, you go and see Max Clifford, who's no longer with us, and he would stir up some old storm. There's a fantastic story that always makes me chuckle there. All these sort of little starlets would go and see Max Clifford, and he said, "Don't worry, I know exactly what to do." And he put a story in the press that would be something like, I don't know, Davina slept with Sir Clive Sinclair. And he said we'd always get away with it because we would say, and he was a demon in bed. He never let me out for 3 days. He was absolutely amazing. And they said they were all so chuffed, their egos just wouldn't allow them to sue.
Good
old Max, evil swine that he was. He spent his last days at Her Majesty's pleasure.
Well, it's another. I'm not really surprised, actually. You got to go some way to top a game like Grand Theft Auto. So definitely. I'm not even going to do my cheers now. Okay, no, I can't. I found it.
Let's just say I'm all over. Thing is, I didn't even know. I came to it this afternoon. I thought, I don't know.
You didn't know.
What game? I can't think of a single game. Clive always pulls the old Nintendo, Sega. It's all the Japanese stuff, and I don't know any of that. I thought, go and have a look and see what were the biggest selling games on the PS3. GTA jumped right out. So I thought, right, I'll have some.
It's got to be popular.
Clive's thinking, look, not being funny, but when did he manage to get a full picture of my house without me in it? That, my friend, is some super duper Photoshop work.
Yeah, I can see that. Dave Andy says, I love the Chatterbox radio station with Laszlo. Hilarious fake phone-ins. Yes, I like the whole radio. And we talked about it before about Rockstar Games, but just the level of detail. They could have just put in a couple of radio channels.
Yeah. And
then, because obviously it takes so long to fill those radio channels with, audio and stuff. But no, they put in loads. And they just go on for ages. And other games have just copied that idea, Burnout Paradise, whatever is Paradise Burnout.
Mafia, the Mafia recent series that have radio stations in. The Crew has radio stations in.
Yeah.
That's a classic. I tell you, if they brought GTA 5 right now to Stadia, it would still sell massively.
Oh yeah,
that game.
It's good, the online element. Yeah, they can keep it fresh.
Of course, Red Dead Redemption, that's one of theirs as well.
Yeah, same level of detail. It's the same.
Yeah, very much so.
I think they've done quite well on the online aspect. That there's you know, you can roll out events and stuff. It keeps people interested, and it's always it's always a good sign that it still sells at virtually full price.
Yeah,
you know, that and Red Dead Redemption is like, constant. It's like a long tail.
David Handy says Ricky Gervais was in on the radio station. I wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised at all. That's so funny.
Is that a myth?
Well, I'm just trying to think. Would he? When was The Office kicking around? That was 90.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it could well have been.
Yes, because he does a stand-up act in Liberty City.
Yes, he does. I remember it.
You switch. You buy those kits.
Man of many talents. I never get fed up. Never get fed up with my brother telling me how much Ricky Gervais looks like me. Bastard.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ricky Gervais.
Hi, how you doing? Cheers. Thanks.
Wow.
I have been known to have a go at fat people. But the truth is, I'm a bit overweight myself.
So,
Someone shouted, no shit. Could be that. 40 years build-up. I actually had to have a medical for this tour, and I've had medicals before for TV work, and they just check your pulse and go, you're fine. But I went along to the doctor, and he said, oh, it's a bit more thorough than usual. You know, it's a big tour. We need a urine sample. I've never had to do that before, so, you know, I went to the toilet, filled up this little bottle he gave me, good as gold, gave it back to him. He went, oh, can you strip down to your boxer shorts? I thought, this is thorough. So I stripped down to my boxer shorts. Oh, the one day I wear white boxer shorts, big wet patch from the wee. Well, why didn't he warn me? Why didn't he say, be careful, I'll be checking for stains in a minute? Do you know how it's so embarrassing?
Yeah, some of that's in his actual stand-up. Yeah, never one not to have an opportunity to resell material. But yeah, there we are. Well done, David Handley, there on that spot. You get star of the chat, I think, for that. Win a prize. There we are. Yeah. So well done, Rokk. Well done, David, for that random bit of trivia. We love a bit of random trivia.
Poor old Clive. Look at him, he's so despondent.
Well, I'm so despondent because I've just closed the script.
Oh, right.
But it matter. We finish. We go to chat. If I can get chat working, that is.
Oh, we got celebrity gamers coming up.
Oh yeah. Oh, I better open the script.
Yeah.
You're quite right. Well reminded. Well reminded. Let me just.
So you know a few celebrity gamers, don't you, Clive?
I know a few celebrities who game. I don't necessarily know them.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Celebrities that game.
Yeah. Dara O'Brien is obviously a gamer. He had his show, I think, on Dave.
8-bit something.
8-bit, yeah. And then the guy from, I've talked about him before, from the In-Betweeners.
Oh, he's got, on
Twitch. His own Twitch channel.
Yeah.
He's genuinely a gamer. He likes playing games and decided to set up a Twitch. He doesn't bang on about, I mean, obviously people go into the chat and say, can you shout out bus wankers? Can you call Dave Handley a bus wanker?
The other day.
That's what they'll be saying. Yeah, all right. He does requests, but he just plays games and stuff like that. And now it's he's got a regular sort of Twitch schedule. So and then obviously famously we talked about, was it a couple of weeks ago, we had Henry Cavill, Superman, Witcher, building his own PC to the sounds of some sexy music. That kind of stuff.
Is he?
Yeah, because he's a proper gamer, PC gamer.
Oh wow!
And he knows all, and he was a big fan of The Witcher before he got the part.
Okay.
And yeah, he was building his own, his sort of new gaming PC.
Wow.
And then he sort of, so he's, you know, it's quite big and muscly, and so he put some sort of sexy music underneath it and played it, so it was sort of porn. Yeah,
erotic.
Yeah,
yeah.
Sort of people who love sexy PC builds, you know.
Yeah,
there's all women in who also like, well, not just women.
Oh, look at the size of his RAM.
Yeah, but yeah, it was quite amusing, but very popular. Let me just get the news up here, make sure I've got that.
Yeah, it's partly why I didn't do the unboxing of my chair, Clive. I didn't want to get.
Yeah, no, exactly. You do want to. Yeah, been a bit. No. Where is this? The clip I want. Bear with me. I'm trying to find my script. There it is.
Who's Alex Garland?
Book writer.
Oh.
The Beach. Am I right?
The Beach. What, the film with?
It was a book before it was a film.
No.
So I know. I saw the film.
Dawlish Warren, you mean?
I saw the film.
As opposed to Woolacombe.
Why am I not getting the news?
Justin Lee Brown. He was a big gamer.
Who's?
Justin Lee Brown. Was it Justin Lee? Justin Lee Collins. Sorry.
Oh yeah, didn't he present a gaming show once?
He may have done, actually. Yeah, I know he was big into gaming. He was a big PlayStation fan, I think. Marks and Spencer women. Oh, we're not into advertising, mate. We don't watch any television these days, do you? What? Alex Garland. Numerous film scripts and director of Ex Machina.
But didn't he write The Beach?
Don't know. I'm
sure he did. Sure he did.
Are you treating us to a film?
I'm trying to find the script. There, got it. Yay, apologies, chat. Well, I was just, you know. Okay. So we're playing celebrity games. Celebrity gamers.
Yes.
10 celebrity gamers and their favorite game. Oh, there he is. There's the man we were talking about.
Yeah, the very fellow. I didn't.
Okay. Vin Diesel, of course. He was in a.
Yeah.
He set up. I'm sure he set up a gaming.
He did. It was
company or
Tygon, and they did Chronicles of Riddick, which actually was a good game. I played it. It
was a good game.
Yeah. It was an excellent film series as well.
Yeah.
But he himself is supposed to be a bit of a character, you know, if you know what I mean.
28 days later, exactly. Yeah, the beach and 28 days later.
That scene, that great film. See, film. I don't read. I can't. It's the thing.
Oh, Dungeons and Dragons. Vin Diesel is easily one of the most popular celebrity nerds. He hasn't shielded away from his love of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh.
Also a devout player of video games. Call of Duty. Chronicles of Riddick, of course, helped release.
Good game.
Yeah.
Who's
Mila Kunis?
Who's that then?
Mila Kunis?
Yeah.
She is in. I've got the model here.
She
Ted?
Ted?
The movie.
Oh, as opposed to the lectures.
Yeah. You've gone intellectual, I've gone low. Yeah. Addicted to World of Warcraft, apparently.
Oh, wow.
She now plays Call of Duty. Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh,
course.
Yes.
Big fan of Grand Theft Auto series. And voiced Officer Tenpenny in GTA San Andreas and Fallout Call of Duty. Jack Black, of course, has got his own gaming channel. I watched his gaming channel for the first few weeks. Had a weekly show.
Yeah.
And he never played any games on it, really, for the first 3 weeks. Waiting for his setup.
Really?
I'm thinking, you're a Hollywood star. You can just like demand it gets set up straight away, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite ready yet. The setup's not here. The computer's not here, and all that kind of stuff.
What?
Yeah, Meg from Family Guy. Of course she is.
Who is?
Mila Kunis.
Oh.
She's the voice of Meg in Family Guy.
Black Swan.
The animation. Yeah. Yeah, but Jack Black, of course, was in that. He did play a game that he's in from the PlayStation 3. It's a sort of a heavy metal fantasy game.
Right.
You play guitar to destroy. It's like, what was it called? It's quite a cool game. And he made an announcement recently, I think, about some game that's coming on part of the Xbox third-party titles.
He was in something the other day that he was doing he was singing a song.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Brutal Legend.
Yes, he was in the Xbox video, wasn't he?
Yeah. So he played Brutal Legend on his channel. Bit self-indulgent.
After spending a lifetime on tours, he can build any stage, tune any guitar, and fix anything. He is a roadie, and by the grace of the metal gods, he wields the power of rock. Eddie Riggs was the world's greatest roadie, but when he is drawn back into an ancient age of rock, he will discover an empire on the verge of destruction. And as the battle for survival rages...
Oh, man. Don't tell me I've been slaying hot girls this whole time.
Still looks quite good, actually. Because they did it in that slightly cartoony style.
Yeah.
It still looks all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brutal Legend was
Looks
this
like
game choice.
Looks like Walking Sky.
Henry Cavill. Of course, he's in The Witcher. He likes the game Witcher as well. And built his own gaming PC last week, like I said. Michelle Rodriguez, of course, she's in the Fast and Furious movies with Vin Diesel.
Doom.
Zac Efron.
Yes. I love a bit of high school musical me.
Who doesn't?
And of course, the Greatest Showman.
Yeah. Drake, of course, played Fortnite with Ninja.
Yes.
Michael Phelps. Didn't know that.
What's he into?
Call of Duty.
Seems to be a bit of a recurring thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's a scene in House of Cards, the Netflix version, the US version, in the first series, I think.
Yes. Ladies
played Call of Duty, yeah.
Yes, you're right. Well remembered.
And Daniel Craig.
GTA. Get on. He'd have voted for me.
Yeah, he would have voted. You got
Daniel. I
go with Rokk. Shaken, not stirred.
Echo on Rokk. What have you done to me? Echo on Rokk. What have you done to me?
I've sorted you out now.
Okay.
It must have unmuted itself somehow.
Apologies,
chat. Is it okay now? Something was when I was. Oh, I've got to hide that. Yeah, there we are. Should be should be fine now, Rokk. Yeah, everyone's getting Echo on Rokk.
What? What does he mean? What does he mean? What about still echo? Still echo? With me? With me? What? What?
That doesn't help. Never do any sound engineering, testing with Rokk. He either fakes he's on mute, or he's doing echo, 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 echo. Yeah, I must have, when I lost the script, I must have accidentally somehow trodden on something. Oh dear. Let's see if we can force the chat through. Often just needs a little kick off. And we'll see if the chat is there. Come on, chat, come through. Don't be afraid. As it catches up itself with it. Profanity settings updated. Okay, well, we'll just look at chat as it comes through. Oh, there it is. Yay. Clive is still on YTS, but he's still doing quite well these days.
YTS technician.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard, isn't it? You know what it's like, Rokk, trying to
absolutely
control all these all these things at once.
You want to try doing it with half a dozen guests and all of their work cans and playing a game and frying eggs at the same time.
Don't know. It's like herding cats.
Yeah, full cooked breakfast for all your guests.
Exactly. Blimey. That's a long session, long gaming session you have.
Yeah. It's worse than that. We're at four corners of the world.
Black Swan was she in Black Swan Day? We're talking about Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
She's in Black Swan. She's a good actress, actually. She's very versatile. Does comedy and serious acting.
Yeah, Jack Black. It would make a good character in Red Dead. That's true.
Yeah. Jerome said he played Brutal Legends. It did look a cool, fun game. You know, kind of jokey pastiche of sort of like a cartoon version of an Iron Maiden album cover.
Yeah. But that's his thing, isn't it? He loves that kind of rock, traditional American rock stuff.
Yeah, it would make an interesting, why not? Get Rebellion to do it. I knew Natalie Portman was in it. Yeah, but I didn't know Mila. Is it Mila? Mila Kunis was in it. I've always quite liked her though. She's a good actress. Try not to knock your coffee over. Yeah. I forgot. I've got my got my Pac-Man thing. I'm all done though. I've got no more Pepsi.
What was in there? Was that one of your special drinks?
No, it's Pepsi. I'm out of the special drinks. That's the main thing. We're all out.
Yeah.
I'll order some later. They're not cheap.
I just had your Robinson's Peach.
That's your Robinson's. I've got some Robinson's over there somewhere. A lot cheaper than nootropic fizzy drinks. Yeah. Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've enjoyed that. That was a fun little trip around the world of gaming and back and forth into the past. Bit of history on the gaming culture in the UK. Silicon Valley of Dundee and Warwickshire. There are other. Yeah, so I think Lionhead were more Surrey-based.
Lionhead, that's right. What was the name? God something. One of
Black and White.
Black and White, where you were like a giant hand and you had to.
Yeah,
I had that game
with, of course, Fable originally.
Yeah,
he's obsessed with those sort of godlike games.
Yeah,
he's interesting. He was always much revered in the UK games industry. Peter Molyneux. For his creativity, but I think sometimes he was too creative.
Yes,
for commercial reality in terms of didn't always deliver on time.
Right,
because his ambitions were far greater than maybe tech was capable of. So compromises had to be made. Or he was, you know, and he was. There was one point where he could almost write his own check, but there comes a point where it's like, oh, we're having to delay delivery, because the design creep, as I understand, you know, would just grow and grow and grow, and it, you know, there's kind of, I don't think he had an editor there to go, look, we got to ship this game, it like this, or you could just keep adding stuff and then we'll never ship it, you know. And it's that kind of balance between creative genius and commercial nous.
Yeah.
So, you know, they spent a lot of money developing the games, so they had to be successful. That's the key thing.
What's he doing? Clive? Is he still in the? Is he still in the industry, or is he bailed? Or
yeah, he's still. I think he does talks and stuff. I mean, I'm not sure he's doing anything major now, but I mean, you know, he's lost the Fable and all that. They've given that off to, what's it? Who they given it? Oh, the people who make Forza Horizon. Populous. Was that the godlike game you're thinking of?
It might have been, actually, yeah.
And then Black and White, and then Fable. Yeah. He also, I mean, didn't we do something about this because he got into the whole Xbox? What was it called? The eye controller thing, not the PlayStation eye controller. I'm sure he did.
What? Trying to create games for that? Connect, or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sure he did. Molyneux came at the concept for Lionhead's first game, Black and White, convinced his small star to take on the concept in '97. He paid $6 million in development costs himself. It's like one of these mad film directors.
Yeah.
We want to make this epic, you know, overture or something. I had an acrimonious departure from EA. He opted to give them the publishing rights, explaining EA were more reliable and had better worldwide distribution. So we had a massive blow up with EA. Yeah. But he had the nous, oddly enough, to know that they were the best distributor in the world for him. Yeah, and he was promoted to creative director of Microsoft Game Studio, although he continued to produce video games for Lionhead Studios.
God, I remember playing Black and White.
Yeah, it was a big. Everybody looked forward to that game because it was like
so hyped up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was a visionary. It'd be interesting to know if he if you dropped him in today and gave him the resources, what he'd come up with.
Yeah, well, it says here, like I was just saying, despite the success of his games, both critical and financial, Molyneux has acquired a reputation for issuing over-enthusiastic descriptions of games under development, which then struggled to meet expectations. So I think his sort of ambitions far outweighed what could actually be delivered.
Reality. Yeah. So his reputation would stop him from getting too far now.
Yeah. But anyway, there we go. Anyway, as I was just wrapping up there, we went that little Molyneux lane. Want to say thank you for everybody who came along again for our little tete-a-tete, our little chat on all things gaming from a Generation X perspective. I hope you have a good show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope there are a few things that sparked a few memories as ever. Once again, thank you from me and a goodbye from me. And it's a goodbye
from me and him.
Me and him. Goodbye. See you.